Okay, boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this evening. We have a magnificent guest with us tonight, one who is going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration. And that is none other than an activist, a frontline soldier, a believer, and someone who has done a scholarly work and breakdown that he's going to expound upon this evening. Everybody stay tuned. You don't want to miss this. And that is none other than our brother Daryl Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam, good brother. How are you this evening?
Yes, I'm doing fine by the grace of Allah. Please
Great.
extend the greetings to your family and
Indeed.
the believers of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
That's right, Harrisburg.
Yes, sir. And on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast, we thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come having a very important conversation with us tonight.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. While we get started, the first question we want to know is because everybody this essay is buzzing and everybody wants to hear a breakdown. But we first want to know, when did you hear when was the first time you heard the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Hmm. So there was like breadcrumbs that led me to it. Former hip hop DJ.
Okay.
So of course, as I'm cutting and mixing, I hear Chuck D mention
Okay.
minister, so there's a little seeds drop. Of course, everybody knows the famous line, Farrakhan's the prophet that I think you want to listen to.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You
sir.
then the minister was very heavy on CNN, um,
Hmm.
C-SPAN and CNN back in the early 90s. So he would come on TV. My mother would call me, Daryl Farrakhan's on. I'd run down the stairs and, didn't know what I was listening to, but it was just something about him. It was just something about it. And that progressed into the late 90s and hearing the Wu-Tang drop the mathematics and
Yes,
everything
sir. Yes,
just
sir.
leading me step by step to the nation. And then I went to my first meeting and that was it. It was
Hmm.
over. I've been,
Beautiful. Yes, sir. But when was this?
this was 19, finally, it culminated in 1996 is when I went to my first meeting. So yes, sir.
Oh, praise due to Allah. Yes, sir. And from your initial meeting, hearing the teaching of Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, to all of these years later, you have put together and compiled a great body of work for, is this for the believers only? Is this for the public? Could you explain how it came about, sir?
Yes, sir. Well, like all of us, our journey in the nation, we hear things in the teachings that may stick out to us, that we're drawn to. Some may be drawn to the dietary aspect. Some may be drawn to the physical fitness aspect. I was always drawn to the topic of the minister's departure and what that meant overall to us as believers. So just throughout the years, I would hear things here and there from Brother Minister Jabril Muhammad, the great Mother Tanetta Muhammad. Of course, the minister would speak here and there and give little hints and clues. And so these hints and clues, I would just try to piece them together. They would just stick out. And then it's like I was being led. Each year I would receive some type of uh, breadcrumb that would continue to lead me down the path. And then at a particular point, I begin to assemble and compile the information. And then a timeline, a chronological timeline began to form in my mind. And I just put it together in terms of my efforts to put it together to see if I could make something of this timeline. So I would say, since I came into the nation till now, like I said, I don't think a year went by without something happening in some way, shape, or form that continue to urge me down the path of this study to compile this offering. So initially, yes, for the believers, I'm convinced that this should be a topic of study in what I would call the mainstream uh, awareness of the Nation of Islam. This particular topic, I don't hear it talked about enough for my liking
mm.
because of what it implies. This is world changing and shattering information.
Okay.
We don't we may talk about his departure, but we may not necessarily engage the subject of what that means and what it looks like when he returns.
Mm.
That's a whole world and wealth of information, and there are hints in the scripture, and like I said, from Mother Tarnetta and Brother Jabril. So the pieces are out there. It's just, will we attempt to put it together to get a picture of what that may look like? And so, yes, I would like for us and the believers, if it's found worthy, if this offering is found worthy enough to study, then I would like to see us delve into this particular topic. And then from that point, once we take a look at it, we'll see how we can begin to, at a particular point, feed it to the masses of our people, because whether we believe it or not, it's going to happen. And it's the inevitable. And there's no way. See, his return is critical. And stop me, because once I get on a roll, you're gonna have to, like the
Go ahead,
apostle,
T.
just pull
Yes,
me
sir.
off stage because this topic is so rich. Everything that's going on right now in the world, the confusion, the chaos, the answer, the full answer, in my opinion and viewpoint, is given to us, or we have the tools in which to correct everything that's going on upon his return. We can affect it now, sure enough, but there are just some things that are so out of control that it's going to take him and what he brings back from that will to set affairs right on the earth. So, yes, sir.
Okay, all praise to Allah. You teaching, and people are showing love all around the world. Brother Kente, walaikum salam, sir, dear family. Walaikum salam, Sister Miriam. Brother Houston Bird, always showing love as well. Sister Sylvia Muhammad, walaikum salam, ma'am. Thank you all to everyone who was watching and continues to show love to our esteemed guests.
Love.
Okay, Brother Daryl, quick question.
Yes,
So
sir.
you said in the mainstream, you don't see it being spoken about enough.
Yes, sir.
I say 90% of the people who I interviewed who are believers, even though the name of the podcast is off, the name of the episode of the podcast is off the record.
Yes, sir.
Really, when it's off the record, that's
Yes, sir.
something that is questioned or brought up to me in some shape or form. What do
Mm.
you, not necessarily the return, but the
Mhm.
departure.
Right.
So for you to write about a return, and you said it's in the scriptures, should we look through the scriptural idea that the minister is going to leave and come back? We should study the scriptures for this?
Yes, sir. The scriptures, the history would be
Okay.
the foundation of all
Yes,
of it.
sir.
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan once said to us, "You don't know me unless you know me from the scripture."
Okay.
The scientists wrote this history approximately 15,000 years ago.
Well,
And that would be the foundation of everything that's going on the earth right now. So to kind of approach this subject, we could put a magnifying glass, if we could put a magnifying glass on the last week of the life of Jesus in the Bible, that last week is critical because you have a betrayal, which is a very nasty topic to talk about, but it's written in there. There's a betrayal, which leads to an arrest, which leads to a court hearing, or the word I'm looking for is slipping from me right now, but there's a court date, and then there's the crucifixion, and then there's the ascension. All of these events take place in the last week of the life of Jesus. And then you can also weave in the portion from the Holy Quran where it talks about Jesus escaping death on the cross and how the Jews were confused. They were confused. They thought they killed him, but then they kind of thought, well, maybe that didn't go down the way we planned. So you can weave those two histories together, and that would be the basis by which, from my viewpoint, that you can begin to examine this departure and return and what it means to the believers. Now, you can look at it and read it, and you may not get much from it. But what is critical is that you use the lens of the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Use that as the lens by which to look at that last week. Some say that last week may be equal to the last year that the ministers amongst us.
Mm.
So it's very interesting. So, and also I want to say that these are all theories, speculation, a hypothesis. I haven't compiled the data to say this is the definite truth. I'm just plainly speculating and theorizing at this point. And then, and that's where I go from. So I don't want no one to think that I'm trying to say this is canon, this is the definite article, this is in the teachings. No, this is just my theory, my speculations, but I believe that we can use this because all of us have theories, but the key of it has to be tethered and based and rooted in the teaching. If it's based and rooted in the teaching, that's a firm foundation by which we can theorize from when trying to put the pieces to the puzzle together, because it's there in front of us.
Okay. All praise due to Allah. Thank you to everybody who continues to show love. So people who understand or hear and have heard the teachings of Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, there is a desire for us to unpack and break down, build, if you will, on the teachings.
Yes.
But then there's also another side, especially when I've done interviews, where people shy away from, trying to even approach a heavy subject or a deep subject. So I saw the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan one day speaking about a new body.
Come on.
Like I'm right. I'm looking at him right. I'm like, okay, that's what he's saying. I'm on post. I'm watching them.
Yes,
and
sir.
Then, like a week later, I'm talking to some people about it, believers, and ain't nobody even talk about it no more.
Right.
So, are you nervous about even how people may perceive you? The fact that you even want to talk about, man, when the minister leave and he gonna come back and it's gonna be 3 years and the first year gonna be the hardest. Like, what makes you not be nervous about people questioning you even trying to discuss the subject?
About 25 years of dealing with it. I used to be timid, brother, because you get looked at funny. You get called a bean soup scientist, and there go brother Daryl getting going to Pluto. But no, I don't fear that no more. The minister said we're at the end of the end.
Yes, sir.
There's no way around this subject at this point.
I agree.
And what I've been through in my life in the last 3 years has removed all fear from me to speak this in such manner that I believe I've been guided to present it. Because had it been left up to me, I'd have put it out crazy. But this is God's plan. In terms of Master Farrakhan Muhammad is in total control of everything that's going down. As the Quran teaches us, Maliki on Medina, master of the Day of Judgment. They say it like this in the movie Deep Cover, I think. A nigga bag don't get sold in the park without him being in on it. He's master of everything today. So I believe that, I was aided by the wisdom of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to be urged down this path to speak it. And it's inevitable. We're coming up on it. The minister in the Swan Song lecture, if you recall, a few years back, he said he didn't believe they would come after him till he was 90, right? He's in his 90s now. And so really, We don't know when it can happen, but I know we're in the window. It appears to be that we're in the window of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the fear is gone to speak it. And the only way I'll not speak it is if the minister instructs me not to. But I believe it needs to be studied, because if we don't have some knowledge of it, I believe, if we don't seek to attain and make an effort to attain some knowledge of his departure and return, then what are you holding on to when it gets dark? We talk about how strong is your foundation.
Okay,
But
okay.
if you don't think he's coming back, what? So we just gonna be niggas forever? I mean, seriously. Because if he doesn't go and come back with what he's to come back with, then we might as well hang it up. Because we don't got nothing to defeat this enemy. Nothing.
Okay, let's stay right there. Let's stay right there. Because that was one of the questions you leading right into the other question. First of all, people, Brother Kenneth Muhammad says, teach. Thank you to everybody who's watching all around the world. So you leading us to a heavy point. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad departs in 1975.
Yes, sir.
I have interviewed countless, not just believers, but people who were alive during that time period. And I always ask them how did it affect them and their families. All kind of angles on the people's podcast. Please go back and watch those interviews.
Yes, sir.
Primary source, this is what took place.
Yes, sir.
There was no social media.
Come on.
There wasn't, cell phones and things of this nature.
Come on.
If in this time period, do you think it would be easier for the believers to have faith, or would it be more of a trial for us because there's social media? So because we hear countless people say, he's gone, he's not coming back, yada, yada, yada. What do you think?
Very good question, brother. Thank you. And I heard Brother Darrell, the mighty companion of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, say in a lecture one time that the minister, I believe he said the minister prayed that his departure would not be as hard on the believers as the departure of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's was. We have that history in front of us today of the departure of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And if we're attentive to what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been telling us over his time amongst us, then we know it's coming. It's almost like an open book test in a sense. But let's not get arrogant and proud, because it's the blow you don't see that knocks you out. There's going to be some, I would imagine there may be some variation. It may not go down the same way. Elements of it may, but there may be a twist. I mean, how are we going to get tested if there's not a twist, I would imagine?
Yes, sir.
Of course, this is still speculation. I'm not saying this is the definite way it's going to happen, but we have to be aware of any twist and turn that may occur in this aspect of the end of the 40 years where we take this examination. So yeah, I think in one sense it may be easier, but we just have to be on guard for any twist and turn. Yeah, we have social media. Just imagine how it was spread like wildfire on social media. I mean, the book says some will literally see him ascend.
That's what they say.
Oh man, can you imagine all of the nuts we gonna be called and quacks and Minister Farrakhan went up on a cloud, but then again, look at how the so-called UFO phenomena is being put out in front of the public now. Now they talking about something's coming here in November, the return of the Anunnaki and all this. I mean, it's like the people are being prepped for something to happen.
Come on.
My big brother, West Coast Cam, those of you who are familiar with Ice Cube, there was a brother who rapped with Ice Cube.
Yes, sir.
Cam. Everyone. He's a legendary member of Ice Cube's group.
Yes, sir.
We were discussing the other day. Brother Cam has pointed out that, of course, we're coming up on a 40th year anniversary of the More Than a Vision experience, September 17th. And we're in the year 2025, which if you look at 1955, the year the minister came into the nation,
Yes,
to
sir.
2025, you got the 70 years, which if you say we have the grace of 60 years not to exceed 70, then you're looking at something there as well. So it looks like things are lining up. Something's cooking.
Yes, sir. I
Something's
agree.
cooking. And Brother Minister Jabril Muhammad would always walk around with that camera on him just in case he's in the right position to catch something. So now we all got phones. We all got
That's right.
so we can get the proof. If the book says that some saw him ascending, I believe we're going to get it captured. We're going to have the footage. And so that would make it very difficult. But then again, I guess those naysayers, they could just say we made an AI video, I guess. Because the AI is so good now. But
Yes, sir.
so yes, sir, brother. If I didn't go too far off on
Oh, no,
that.
so you were teaching, and praise be to Allah. Thank you all for coming to your comments. September, the birth month of yours truly, for everybody who's watching, September 21st. September 17th, 1985 to September 17th, 2025. Inshallah, the entire week leading up of that week, we would be doing episodes on the People's Podcast dealing with the phenomenon of UFOs and vision-like experience. Who was there? We got the video, who was there? When did you first hear this? And how did that affect you? And like you said, all over social media, we are being primed. There was the NASA trend of them saying it was the man said he saw African Americans, actually on the plane.
Right.
So that's so it's all of this stuff adds up to it. Okay, beautiful. Praise be to Allah. I'm just going to read some of the comments of people showing you love. They're saying, teach Brother Daryl. All praise be to Allah. Thank you, sir. Brother Hamza, alaikum salam. Brother Hamza, please give the greetings to your grandmother. She's glorious. Tell her we love her. Thank you for always showing love. Okay, yes, sir. The next question that we have is, we want to go back to the last week of Jesus' life. You said betrayal, and then you were like, because that's going to be a shocking thing. Do you think that that's a Pontius Pilate type Judas situation for the Hon Min Louis Farrakhan turning him over? What do you think the betrayal is, like a real thing, or is it just like a betrayal because whoever turns back on their heels under trial? Like, what do you mean betrayal in comparison to that life of Jesus?
Well, I want to preface this with the betrayal, from my viewpoint. The way we approach it has to be very careful, because you can fall into a trap by pointing the finger. And we know the saying, when you point the finger, how many you got pointing back at you?
Yes, sir.
You got 3, right?
Correct.
They had Master Farad Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the minister pointing back at you. You point at the wrong person. But there's a very nasty subject in the history, in the scripture. So when you look at that, I heard Brother Minister Abdullah state, may Allah be pleased with him, that Judas was a secretary.
Yes, sir.
He dealt with money. So perhaps it may represent a financial aspect amongst the believers, those holding their hand with charity, being niggardly and miserly to open the door for a betrayal. Possibly. It doesn't have to be necessarily one person, a one individual. It may be one individual, but it may also be a collective. Like we know on the flip side, on the other side of the coin, that Jesus is an individual, but then the believers are the body, the fourth Jesus, the body. So there could be a body of Judases, if that sound right. Judases. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It may be many. So we just have to be on guard to not allow these attributes, negative characteristics of Judas to exist within us, because if we can be on guard against that, then so what? Let Judas do his work. It ain't gonna thwart the plans of Master Farrakhan Muhammad, because we already were promised the victory, but it's a part of the plan. He has to do, or they, or whoever falls into that group, have to fulfill their aspect of the scripture so it can further the plan. It ultimately works for good. You know, the one Savior's Day, what the minister said, if anyone, and I don't know, it's just so powerful, you know. He said, if anyone betrays me, you know, you might as well go hang yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes,
When you're
sir. Yes,
done,
sir.
you know. And so we will hope that none of us will fall into that category, pardon me, but it has to be fulfilled in order to advance the plan, from my perspective. So, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good job. Okay, great, great. And people were showing love. Thank you, Sister Sylvia. Of course, thank you. I will do, Brother Hamza. And thank you, Brother Troy Stansbury, saying good teaching. People are showing you love. Yes, sir. The next thing is the crucifixion.
Mm.
What could you expound on that?
Well, I'll defer to the scholarship that was presented to us by Brother Minister Jabril and Mother Tainetta Muhammad.
Okay.
Let me, if you would permit me to say this about these two mighty individuals.
Go ahead and teach.
I want to say that a part of this, of the inspiration and the motivation for this essay, was Brother Minister Jabril Muhammad and Mother Tainetta Muhammad. I will not allow their legacy to be forgotten. As long as Allah allows me to draw a breath, I will keep their legacy alive. And this is what I mean by presenting this type of study and putting it in the mainstream of our nation. They did not sacrifice all of the hours to compile information and make study for us to not take it into consideration and leave it to the wayside. So I just wanted to interject that first and say, from their accumulated body of work and study is where I can speak about certain details of the crucifixion.
Let's get into it.
In one sense, you know, will it be something physical or will it be something spiritual? Can you imagine them doing something physical to the minister? That is such horrific as the crucifixion, and how the crucifixion is depicted. You know, maybe them harming him in a real bad physical way. I don't know. We can't fathom the depths of this devil, right?
Right.
If it's spiritual, I believe I heard Brother Jabril say he was on a cross, means it could refer to he got crossed by Judas. Right? Also, you look at who was present when he was crucified, when he was on the cross. I believe the book said, was it 6 women and 1 man?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, one brother. MGT showing up, you know, like, and could this reflect him being crossed, only one brother? Brothers, right? We've experienced situations when we go to the mosque and we may be the only one there on post.
That's right.
You know, but you know, so there's a lot of things to take into consideration in terms of the crucifixion. You know, we got an example of when they came to arrest him in the garden that Peter pulled out the sword. I believe it was Peter, and cut off one
Yes,
of
sir.
his ears, right?
That's right.
And Jesus had to tell him to calm down.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Let them
sir.
do what they got to do. So we may have to watch them attempt to put their hands on him. So I just want to say that we have to keep our minds open when observing this scriptural detail account, because we don't know which angle is going to come. But the basis of it is right there in the book. You remember that one? That was the one movie, The Passion of Christ. I heard people
Yes, sir.
fell out and died in the theater when they was whipping him with the cat of nine tails and whatnot. Oh man! So some things I don't even want to entertain them about.
Right.
But that's just the nature of that aspect of the history. But Allah is God, and if Master Farrakhan Muhammad don't permit it, they can't have him. I don't give a damn what they do to him. Can't have him if Master Farrakhan Muhammad want him. That goes for us too, right?
Allahu Akbar. You teach it, brother. Teach it. Beautiful, beautiful.
Because he got to go before us through the portals of death. So we need to maybe, while taking in consideration what his crucifixion may be, we may have to look at what ours is going, what our crucifixion may be, right? So,
Yes, sir.
but brother Minister Jabril, Mother Tana Muhammad have made excellent study and research in compiling information and what that may look like. So I'm just kind of repeating what they say. I'm not saying nothing of myself. I'm just a brother from the projects who like to listen to Wu-Tang. But when you get a calling and you get involved in this, something different's going on here. But yes, sir. So we got to be on the lookout for this. Yes, sir.
Beautiful. All praises due to Allah. We just want to let you read some of the comments in the chat. Thank you very much, Brother Corey X Williams. This has to be taught everywhere so that we may build our will and increase our faith. Brother Lau Muhammad says, ASA, Brother Daryl, really thoughtful essay. Praise be to Allah. Thank you to everybody who's watching and continues to show love. We have a brief 60-second commercial break for every. We are grateful for every like, share, and subscription to the People's Podcast. We truly appreciate every super chat, every anonymous cash app. You all have been, you all have been great growing with the podcast since the beginning. Myself, my family, and the viewing audience are locked in. We thank you all, and man, this has just been great. This is what we love to do on the People's Podcast is, man, study, learn, get information, inspiration. 1 second. There we go. Of course. Joy. Live. That's television, film editing.
Yeah, I believe so. I didn't think it's going.
No excuse, both of which are available on Amazon. All right. Yes, sir. Right back with our guest. Please let us know which city you all are watching from. And if you have any guest suggestions, by all means, please put those in the chat. Okay, yes, sir. So, Brother Daryl, my next question for you is, let's get straight into the essay.
Yes. Sir.
Okay. So, where can we download the essay?
Yes, sir. Well, we put up a website, which is www.stardate, STARDATE www.stardate1974.com. www.stardate1974.com. And there you can go to the website and download the essay. And among other things, if you would permit me to talk a little bit about the website
Break
and
it down.
the intention of it. So the essay is available on the website, and I would like to use the website to gather those in the nation who have theories and thoughts based on the teachings. We need a platform where we can come together and submit our findings to be reviewed by our peers and scrutinized, sort of like the scientific community does when they
Yes, sir. Yes,
publish a
sir.
paper. This is my intentions. I've been wrestling with the thought of how to put this together over the last year or so. So I think that a good starting point is this website. So those of you who have thoughts, we all have thoughts that we may come up with during our study and hearing various lectures, but we need a platform to present them. We may be on to something. It's may be foolish to think that Allah would bless his enemies with gifts and baby planes and not bless us with some discoveries, you know. So that's how I kind of view it. You know, we have been given these teachings, and these teachings, as the minister said, the same way you dig into the earth to get gold, and how pearls are found at the bottom of the sea, we must go into these teachings deeper to extract that which is hidden. And that may be beneficial or will be beneficial to ourselves and the nations. As the minister said, we got to begin to take a deeper drink of the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Brother Dimitri from the research team gave us a statement from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that research follows revelation. You know, so delving deeper into the teachings, researching the revelation. And Brother Minister Darrell also stated that we're in the kindergarten class of Master Fraud Muhammad. So we got so much in front of us to do, to extract. And so I'm trying to use this website as a platform to gather those around the nation that have theories and hypotheses based on the teaching, where we can present them and review them and see what we can come up with. And, you know, and maybe hopefully some of our big brothers around the nation, such as a Brother Wesley or a Brother Ilya Rashad, would help us in the forming of this community. We can definitely use those brothers' expertise. There are individuals all around the nation that I'm sure would jump at the opportunity to present some of their thoughts and have them reviewed, and possibly reviewed by the minister. You know, that would be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm trying to call that one into fruition.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that's my desire with the website. So hopefully, as this recording is on the internet and grows legs, and we can visit the website and begin to build this platform. We need to build an institution of the study of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We're not here just to do some mom and pop-up shops and events. All praises due to Allah for that, but we need to build institutions. And can you imagine a branch of scientific study in our nation dedicated to what I like to call the obscure branches of knowledge in the teachings? You know, there's subjects in the teachings that, like I said, don't get talked about on a mainstream basis. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us about Muslims that live in the Himalaya Mountains for 100 to 300, I think, years, and our Savior has arrived in the Himalayan Mountains. And in the world, you hear about this some refer to as Shangri-La.
Yes, sir.
So there are things out there. Honorable Elijah Muhammad talked about in the theology of time that there's two places on the planet where you can hide people. That makes you start to think and speculate. Could that be what's going on in Antarctica?
Come on with Antarctica.
I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
come on now. Let's, like I said, don't get me started, brother. But yes, there are elements in the teachings that I would like the privilege and the help of those around the nation to make a mainstream topic in the nation. We have had these teachings for too long to just be, as the minister said, skirting on the surface of wisdom.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We got to go deeper. And I'm not saying that, I'm the leader or the pioneer of such thing. I just want to be a part of it. I just want to be a part of extracting those deeper jewels and gems in the teachings and bringing them to the forefront. So, but yes, that's what we're trying to achieve with the website. Yes,
beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Everybody, thank you all for watching. We're about to break down each part of the essay, the three parts after the introduction of the essay. But I want to go back to the messenger. Osama Elijah Muhammad saying, the Himalayan mountains, this our Savior has arrived. He says this.
Yes, sir.
And he's saying they're people, they're believers in the Himalayan mountains.
Muslims.
Muslims
living in the Himalayan mountains, in the Himalayas. I believe it was somewhere around maybe 100 to 300 years they lived that long and still produce babies, I believe. Yeah, that's in Our Savior Has Arrived.
Beautiful.
So, they're hidden gems all over the place. Like the new, we heard the minister talk about this new book, right?
Yes, sir.
But it appears maybe for some of us it goes in one ear and out the other. It's right there in Message to the Black Man. I mean, Elijah Muhammad talks about it in Message to the Black Man, and said there's two versions of it.
Okay.
In Arabic and one in English. I mean, that's interesting. Like,
very interesting.
I heard, I think in one of the Farrakhan the Traveler articles, Brother Minister Darrell wrote about it, and he said a sign of it was Moses. When Moses first went up on the mountain to get the Ten Commandments, the law, remember when he came back down and the people were wilding out building the golden calf, in the movie with Charlton Heston, they showed him throw it and it broke, right? And he had to go back up to get another copy. So he was saying that was kind of like a sign of it. You had the initial copy, then he had to go back up and get, another one. So, the bread crumbs are there. We just have to pick them up and put the pieces together. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And I want to just let people who know People's Podcast, but if you're new here, this is what we call a safe space for dialogue, intelligent dialogue, or dialogue of any kind. We talk about sports, music, pop culture, and things of that nature too. But when it comes to the teachings, people who have visions or had experiences or who want to break down, man, feel free to come on People's Podcast. We love to hear. And for a brother like you to be scholarly enough to say, I'm going to put pen to pad, come up with this essay. This is definitely where we want you, sir, on the People's Podcast. And we're glad and honored that you took time out of busy schedule to come here. Can we go into the first part of this will be part one of the essay. Could you tell us what that's about?
Yes, sir. So the first section of the essay is entitled The Return. And what we attempt to do in that section is kind of paint the picture of what the condition will be like here on earth prior to his return. According to the teachings, when he departs, and we have to go through the 3 years of the chastisement, it won't be nothing nice. as we know that 1 year will be worse than the prior two.
Yes,
So,
sir.
what will we see in that chastisement period? You know, there was talk about Brother Minister Jabril said that the creatures that the white man is making may get loose. And you may have a monster tapping on your window.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
Is that right?
That's what he
And
said.
then the minister also said that Allah, and it's in the Quran, I believe, will create new creatures to terrorize the people.
Mm.
You don't want to be on the bad side of Master Prophet Muhammad creating new creatures. What is that? I mean, listen, man, I'm just going to, like I said, the fear is gone, so I'm going to say what I got to say.
Go ahead and say it then.
If this man that's before us, Master Prophet Muhammad, has 360 degrees of the circle of knowledge. He knows it all. He's the greatest God that has ever appeared in the time in the history of the universe. All bets are off the table when it comes to him. He's liable to do whatever he desires. So if you talk about he's able to produce new creatures, suppose he wanted to make something looking like Godzilla or something to terrorize the crowd. You just don't know what he may be desiring to do. If you're talking about it's for the use of striking terror, you ever played Gears of Wars, Brother Josh?
Yes, sir. Of course. Of
You
course.
see those locusts emerge from the east?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Listen, all bets are off, man. All bets are off. The book of Revelations, you got some descriptive language in there about the head of a lion and the hair of a horse and different things like that that are exceedingly terrifying to read. You just don't know. The chastisement is nothing to be pushing off to the side of your mind. We're gonna have to go through that. Now, Brother Jabril did say that Allah would protect the believers during that time. So I guess if we don't got zeros on our charity report, we may not have a monster tapping on our window. You better get your charity up. You better get that savings they give. That may be a means by which of course I'm joking, but you don't want to take no chances. We gotta be on point if we're going to expect Allah to protect us and to shield us from the things that are going to go on in that period. So to get back on subject, so the condition of the society and the earth prior to the minister's return, we expect, according to the scriptures and the details of what you may study about what Allah intends to bring down in the chastisement, may be in a rough condition. So the first section paints the picture of that scene in his physical return to us, and what are we to expect? How will it be communicated to us that he's returned? So let's say all the communication systems are down. We explored that in the first section. Because Allah is to do something with the sun and the moon to disrupt the communications of the world. So, all hell is going to break loose. So when he does return, how will we know? Will we begin to get dreams and visions to communicate that to us? So we take a look at that, and how are we to reorganize or be in a position to meet and greet him on his return? How does that look?
How does it look?
Well, we can only speculate. But let's imagine he comes back and word begins to spread throughout the nation. The minister's back, looking like he's 16 years old. In a glorified body. So I say to some of the believers, you better pull some old photos of the minister when he was younger, so you can not make a mistake to not know who he is when he returns. Because if you're going to look for him to look like how he's looking now, you're going to miss it. He's not going to look like that. He told us. The youthfulness and the vigor of a 16-year-old. So perhaps we speculate and say perhaps if he tours the nation like he used to do with the regional meetings, and each region gets a chance to see him in his glory when he returns. Or perhaps at a Savior's Day convention. That would be probably the most lit Savior's Day in history. To see that beautiful black man
Praise be to him.
For us with that new book and that light gleaming off of the words on the cover. You know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had a vision of the new book. I'm not same brother Darrell making this stuff up. He had a vision of the book. Mother Tynetta documents it in her articles, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said the only word he could recognize was the lamb in Arabic, the lamb, the letter, right? And I believe the way he described it, but it was like coming up off the cover in light.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, so what do you mind? Where does our mind go when we hear it? Is it an advanced tablet? Is it a book? I don't, I don't know. But so these are some of the things that we're attempting to paint a picture of in speculation of trying to put these events together on a chronological chart of events. So that's what the first section deals with, his return and what that may look like. Yes, sir.
Beautiful. All praises to Allah. Thank you again for your scholarship. Sister Priscilla Lewis says, all praises to Allah. Brother Daniel E. Alaikum salam, family. And Sister Sylvia Muhammad says, great idea. Sister Sylvia and Brother Kenneth both representing for Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Thank you all for showing love. Thank you to everyone who's watching all around the world. Yes, sir. What is section 2 of your essay entail?
Section 2 is entitled The Kingdom.
Okay, let's get into it.
Before I say that, permit me to shout out Harrisburg.
Okay.
You know, the minister talked about how he's a part of a community. And when he talked about it, he talked about him being in a community extending all the way 78 trillion years ago to when the God originated itself out of the darkness. I don't go back that far. I just go back to Harrisburg. But my community in Harrisburg is a beautiful community of Muslims. And it is that womb that I was nurtured in. And so my fellow Muslims in Harrisburg, male and female, are some of the wittiest Muslims that I have ever encountered. And I just want to thank them publicly for allowing me to be a brother and sister in their midst. So I just wanted to put that out there. But so the second section is entitled The Kingdom. And what that is painting a picture of is that it is said in the Bible and Quran that Allah will give the kingdom to whomever he pleases.
That's what it says.
Take it from somebody and give it to another people. So we're painting a picture of what that could look like as we rule portions of America for X amount of years as he returns in the establishment of a nation. Quite naturally, the chastisement will break the power of America. So there you have a vacuum and a void for government. And we know the new government because it is upon the man's shoulder, the prophet said, right? And it wasn't no spook either. So the minister, I believe, in his return to us, we're looking at potentially the setting up of a government, of our own government.
Beautiful.
Government that we always desire to have. We can only make, I believe, so much progress now because their power got to be broken, man. You know, and that will be done by means of the chastisement. So what does that look like? Each believer is going to have to examine themselves. How do we fit in to this government? Not meetings, not mosque meetings. We were put here more than just to go to a meeting and clap and say Allahu Akbar. Each believer has within them something that the God has gifted them as a gift that will benefit themselves, their family, and their nation. We're here to build a government, a world. So at some point, we're going to have to look beyond just the basic function of showing up to a meeting and the distribution of a bean pie and things of that nature. That's excellent training. But there's something else in front of us that we have to consider in pulling out our gifts, skills, and talents to contribute to the building of a nation and a government. And so that's what the second section revolves around, how that may potentially look as we begin to build a government here in the United States of America. This is the promised land. We worked, died, sweat, blood for this country. So you think we just gonna just leave it like that after we built it up? The Bible does talk about rebuilding the wasted cities. And I believe Honorable Elijah Muhammad spoke about that, if I'm not mistaken, in the theology time as well. So we also speculate, if we are to rebuild the wasted cities, does the minister come back with any particular tech to reflect the high wisdom that he comes back with? Because I once heard him say that these are cities built by sick people. You don't want to trust buildings of that nature. You know, and if you can, you better stay away from these amusement parks. They're built by sick people too. You may
okay, now, all right, now you want to take it?
I'd rather go have an amusement park with the wisdom of God opposed to
okay. Okay, so you're saying we're gonna have our own Universal Studios and Disney World. What you saying? Is that what you said?
Well, I'll say this. They said, I think the minister said this once. He said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wanted to build a volleyball court for the sisters, I think on Stony Island.
Okay.
You know, so what, you know, we're talking about, sometimes we got blinders on and we don't look at, we are to have the fullness of a society. That don't mean you can't have fun.
Okay.
We just gotta take care of the righteous stuff first. Make sure you do funny business. But there's nothing wrong with recreation and things of that nature. Well, when Master Farrakhan Muhammad was amongst us, he used to take the believers on nature walks, and
yes, sir.
you know, they would have outings. And I heard that as the legend is told, at one of the outings, that's when the first bean pie was presented by a particular sister, according to the account I heard. So there's no such thing as a Muslim not having fun. I mean, we've been on the planet for over 66 trillion years. You think it's the white man who invented sliding boards and swings? And I mean, you mean we didn't produce no type of fun activity?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, you know, but we just have to prioritize things. We're in a time of war. So the priority is not quote unquote having fun every hour of the day. We have serious business in front of us. But
yes,
I believe, just imagine if God himself desired to produce fun activities for you. Can't nobody do it like God can do it.
That's right. That's right.
You talk about turning up in a righteous fashion. Well, heck, a few years ago, you know, there's a back on VHS tapes, there was a dance at the gymnasium. I remember the believers were cutting a rug, and so
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
we're
sir.
allowed to dance as long as it's civilized. Master Muhammad dance, right?
That's right. That's
Hit the
right.
waltz, right? With a glass of water on his head. Mother Tynetta, I remember reading one of her articles where she said, his dance moves were the likes of Fred Astaire and whatnot.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Okay.
So the God get busy, he cut a rug. I mean, we gotta get out of this mindset that the God is all serious and there's not a human side to him in terms of fun and recreation. And I think we have to make him more real in our lives. A good method to do that is the books by Sister Medina, the daughter of
Yes, sir.
Mother Bernstein Sharif, the reformer, the first and only secretary of Master Farrakhan Muhammad. When
Yes,
you
sir.
read those accounts, you're reading the day-to-day activities and the personal witnessing of Master Farrakhan Muhammad. It'll draw you closer to him. But so I know I got off this track there as I do sometimes. But yeah, so the second section was dealing with the kingdom and the establishment of a government. So just wanted to wrap that up. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. No, beautiful teaching. Praise be to Allah. The great Dr. Abdul Alim Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir. Yes, sir. He said, York, Pennsylvania in the house. Walaikum salam to King Z, ASA brethren, and people who are watching all around the world. Yes, sir. Section 3 of the essay.
Section 3 is titled To the East, My Brother to the East.
Okay, break it down.
Okay, so inspired and influenced by the good brother Dr. Wesley Muhammad, he wrote a book called Faking Jacks in his response to Mr. Paul Guthrie in their debate. And that's kind of like a hip hop influence. So the influence on the title To the East, My Brother to the East was from the X Clan, who had a song, and that was the chorus. But it's talking about us traveling to the East as we come to the point where we heard about that the mother plane will make a tour and drop leaflets, right? Instructing the people to get out the country or go back to their home. I'm just paraphrasing, I'm not quoting it exactly, but there will come a time when the actual destruction of America will come. And upon the threat of that destruction is when it is said that we will evacuate the country and go eastward. It was said that Master Farrakhan Muhammad could evacuate his people and destroy the country in less than 12 hours. You say, well, he's God. Why it take 12 hours? I mean, well, you organize the mass evacuation of the people. Everybody can't fit on the mother plane. I don't know. Maybe they'll line some cruise ships up for us. Who knows? But so yeah, we explore the thought and the ideal of that evacuation and us traveling eastward. This is written in the true history of Jesus, where in the history, when the baby Jesus is born and they want to hide the baby, so
yes, sir.
Killed, he's put him and his mother, Joseph, a man, put them on a fast camel, and they went eastward into Egypt.
Egypt, yes, sir.
And that was a sign of the American so-called Negro. When the country is ready to be destroyed, we will flee eastward into the arms of the Muslim world. And there, when Jesus went eastward, that's where he grew up and was educated and prepared for his mission. So what we're saying is that according to the teachings, and we also bring Mother Tynetta to the witness stand to tell us about what happens, speculating when we go eastward, we are to be educated for 20 years by the scientists of our own nation. And as Jesus was educated for his mission, we'll be educated for our mission, which is to teach the world and orientate the world into the wisdom of the mightiest God that ever appeared, and his exalted servant, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and their Messiah, the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's a huge undertaking. Going to school for 20 years, it is said that the believers will go to school for 20 years to be educated when we go eastward. Now, I don't say I know it necessarily when that happens, but at a particular point, the believers will be educated. Does that mean you and me? I hope so. We're in the window of it. So we shall see.
Yes, sir, right there.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. When you say the East, quoting the song, you mean Africa, Egypt, Africa, the Muslim world as far as in Mecca,
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia, or is Asia, East? Like when you say East, where specifically?
Well, so of course, again, let me state that we're speculating.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? You ain't gonna catch me on that one. So speculation. Do you recall the minister once talking about there was somewhere in the Muslim world where they had all these apartments vacant, potentially, that if we went there, they may be something to the effect that there may be apartments there available for believers.
No,
And
sir.
there's also talk about Muhammad coming back at the head of 10,000.
Yes,
Right?
sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay, so these are some of the breadcrumbs, right? So what part of the East? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. There are predictions in the Bible, right, that Moses was seen. What was it with the 144,000 singing a new song
Okay. Okay.
on a mount on another shore. These are the breadcrumbs.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Right.
Okay. Teacher.
So this is what we have to look at. So I can't necessarily pinpoint the exact location, but I believe we can probably, if we engage the subject, all of the brilliant minds that are out in the nation, these are the choice of Master Farrakhan Muhammad. So let's get together and figure this thing out. All we got to do is engage the subject, and I believe we can come up with something. But we just have to accept the challenge and take a deeper look, right? So, yeah, yes, sir. So I'm going to stop there and not get in trouble by trying to guess where.
Yes, sir. Sister Tony Muhammad says, "Walaikum salam. Blessed to have this brother among us in Harrisburg. Harrisburg is happening. This is the most Harrisburg people have ever watched. Believers, thank you all for showing love. Welcome to the People's Podcast. We welcome you all very much. Yes, sir. We got two more questions for you tonight as we engage. This is our part one. Inshallah, Brother Daryl. What you reference clans, Wu-Tang as well as the X Clan.
Yes, sir.
Clans. What is your favorite album of all time?
Between the first and the second Wu-Tang album.
Okay, so you're a big Wu-Tang fan. Okay,
yeah,
got it. Okay.
One of the two. I'll probably go with the second one, Wu-Tang Forever.
Wu-Tang Forever. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this is a double album.
That's Wu-Tang. Right, double CD.
Yes, sir. So this is Triumph. This is
That is correct.
Okay. Abomatomically. Is that what you're saying?
Philosophy.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, just want to know. Killer bees are everywhere. All right, got it. Okay, good. Yes, sir. And Brother Daryl, what would you like your legacy to be, sir?
I would like to be accepted as a contributor of research to my nation. This is my contribution, the beginning of my contribution. And I would just like to place my contribution among the many of brilliant minds in our nation to go down into history. That we were born at this particular point in time on the timeline. We could have been born in the time of Moses, or in the time of Jeremiah, or Ezekiel, if there wasn't Ezekiel. But we're born now. And it wasn't by mistake or accident. So we must have some type of role in the contributing to the desire and the will of Master Farrakhan Muhammad.
Allahu Akbar.
It's not by mistake that we're here, and we have to take full advantage of this opportunity. They wanted to be born in this time period, some of the prophets, but we get the opportunity to be produced at this time in the space continuum, as they say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So let's take full advantage, and I would like the legacy to be a contributor to those who stood 10 toes down with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in the face of danger and death, and laughed at it and walked right on through.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. Well, we are grateful that we have you added to the many interviews of the People's Podcast. We truly appreciate everyone for watching. Once again, where can we download your essay?
The essay can be downloaded at the website, which is the address is www.stardate1974.com. www.stardate1974.com. Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. Thank you for writing the essay to help keep the teachings of Most High Elijah Muhammad fresh on our mind, give us something to engage with, positive information as well as inspiration. Everybody, all the sciences, everybody who wants to scholar and build and break down and unpack things, come to the People's Podcast. We'll dive right into it. Praise be to Allah. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam.
Thank you all for watching. Oh, and shout out to the tech team for assisting us today. We can't forget you, my brother.
That's right, Brother Fred.
Brother Fred. Brother Fred. You said Brother Fred?
Fred's in the building.
Brother Fred. Shout out to Brother Fred. Thank you for holding it down.
I'm like, brother.
Alaikum salam, sir. Thank you all for watching. Beautiful.